Hi everybody and welcome to the start of a brand new Let's Play. Technically this is a redo, because this is me redoing the first ever video series that I ever did on this channel. We're starting Persona 4 Golden. Basically I wanted to redo this just because my first playthrough of Persona 4 Golden, bloody hell, the audio quality on the microphone and stuff like that, it was absolutely fucking garbage. I also didn't have any editing software at the time, so I was using like this free thing which I found online. So yeah, I wanted to redo this one, and so that's what we're doing. We're heading through Persona 4 Golden. Sorry about that. So yeah, Persona 4 Golden. The original game, Persona 4, released in 2008 for the PlayStation 2. It then got a re-release in 2012 on the PlayStation Vita, and then got a re-release, and then it's been re-released a couple of times since then. The HD version, which I'm playing now, this is going to be... the PC version was released in 2020, I think, and then the version for PS5, Series X, and Nintendo Switch was released last year. So this is the Xbox Series X version, which added a couple of new features. Basically, it gave you a quick save function, so you could save at any point that you wanted. It also gave you a customizable difficulty, so you can edit it, so you can basically change the difficulty. Within the difficulty, you can change it so that your attacks deal more damage or less damage to enemies, or the amount of damage you take from enemies, as well as the amount of experience points and the amount of money that you get per battle, as well as being able to basically instantly restart whenever you die, and that kind of thing. The other thing that the Series X version has and the PC version has, which PS5 and Switch don't, is that you can play the game in up to 4K resolution, 120 FPS. The PS4 and the PS5 and Switch versions only run at 1080p 60. I mean, not that it matters, to be honest. 1080p 60 is just fine for this game, to be honest. But it is nice that you can get that extra bit of frame rate on the Series X and PC versions. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to redo this game, because it's just been something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about redoing it for a very long time, and I've always wanted to do kind of new things. This is only like the second redo I've ever done. Arkham Asylum was the other one, which was, again, like, that was like the second playthrough I ever did, and fucking hell, that took... the editing on that, there was so many times that the video glitched out and all that kind of shit, so... Sorry. I really wanted to do this again. Oh, before we go, yeah, my name's Tom Persona. I'm very original. But, yeah, so I wanted to do this just to kind of... because last time as well I did it from a New Game Plus, so I had a lot of so I had like all the personas available and excess of money, and all my stats were already maxed out and all that kind of thing. So I wanted to do a show like how it looks from a completely new save file. So that's what we're doing here. So here we are. As with any Persona game, the start of this game is really fucking long. Like, the introduction for this game is fucking long. It's about 3 hours, which, to be fair, is about the same as Persona 5, but Persona 4 Golden feels really fucking long, because it takes a while it takes a little bit for the story and the main story to kind of get going, and also for, battles to kind of ensue. I think it's like an hour and a half into the game before you get your first battle in like Persona 5, and in Persona 4 Golden it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours before you get into your first fight. So yeah, it feels longer. But anyway, something else that's kind of different for Persona 4 Golden, actually. Persona 4 Golden, you start off with the introduction by Igor and basically saying, yeah, you're going to be heading to this new place and you go to a new destination and all this shit is going to go down and you're going to have to sort it out because you're the only person who can do shit, apparently. And so, yeah, we get the introduction of Igor and, in this case, Margaret, the new, who's the attendant for Persona 5. She's just been introduced here. So yeah, basically, Persona 4 Golden does it a bit differently, where we get introduced to Igor and Margaret kind of straight away, and you're kind of introduced into the game to be like, yeah, you're going to be thrust into this situation. You're sent to this new place. There's a load of shit going to go down. You're going to have to deal with it, bitch. And that's kind of tough. And yeah, I always find the introduction to this game kind of weird, because we go from Igor telling you, yes, your destiny is going to be thrust upon you, and then girl in bikini advertising a diet soda. It kind of goes nuts, but whatever. And we're also introduced to the cutscenes. The animated cutscenes, which are now, it used to be that they were the best in the series, and now they're kind of the worst, because they've just released Persona 3 Reload, which has newly animated cutscenes which look fucking gorgeous. And of course Persona 5 and 5 Royal have really gorgeous animated cutscenes too. Yeah, these kind of look a bit old and stagnant by comparison, which is why there've been rumours for a little while now that they're going to be doing like a full-on remake of Persona 4 Golden, like in what they've done with P3 Reloaded, where it's like, you know, the same game, but like completely, you know, done in the Persona 5 engine and that kind of thing, which I'd be very happy about. I'd love that. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. I don't see that happening, coming out anytime soon. So here we introduced our main character, who I think Persona 4's protagonist, in terms of his physical design, is probably the most kind of stereotypically kind of anime protagonist. I know P3's is very anime protagonist as well, but he, you know, I think the silver hair and you know, the way he has the silver hair and he's kind of this effortlessly cool dude. That to me is very very anime protagonist kind of thing. But yeah. And now apparently some weird shit is going down. So yeah, we're introduced in the story. We're introduced to this person, Misuzu Hiragi, who has apparently been caught up in this scandal, which we don't know too much about yet, but yes, that is going to be a major part of the story. See, I like that shot. That's a very pretty shot. Very pretty animation there. Something else which is going to be different from my original Persona 4 Golden playthrough is that I'm going to be splitting up the parts a bit more evenly, because with Persona 4 Golden, my original playthrough, I did like some parts were like an hour, some parts were 40 odd minutes, some parts were 20. This time I'm going to be like doing it like trying to do it with 20 to 25 minutes per part at most. I need an adult. No. Yeah, so this is our uncle, Dojima. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you pick here.
I still remember when you were in diapers.
But yeah, he hasn't seen us. Basically, he hasn't seen us since we've been since we were a little kid, really young. So they don't really talk about his relationship with our parents, but you can make the assumption that, you know, since we haven't really seen him for a long time, either some really bad shit has gone down with him, or he just has a problem with our parents. But hey, it's not really brought up too much. And that's his daughter Nanako, who's the cutest girl in the cutest little girl in the whole world. We're gonna see her. So yeah, we'll Find out a bit more about her later. She's kind of unassuming at this point. And I'm sure that girl has absolutely nothing to do with the plot, even though she has her own custom kind of portrait. I'm sure she will not be of any importance whatsoever. She's just handing us our note that we dropped. Yeah, this is something that you kind of notice about Persona 4 Golden, is that you look at it and everything's very boxy. Sorry, it's like you can just tell that this is an older game which has been kind of remastered.
You know which way is left? The side you
I mean, this is basically just the Vita version, but kind of upscaled to
Are you taking a trip?
a higher resolution, basically. That's basically all it is. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, you can kind of tell, like, with the cars, they look very boxy and polygonal. So, yeah.
Are you in high school?
He's had a cigarette in his mouth the whole time.
Does it surprise
Is he a chain smoker?
See how little there is out here? There's so little to do.
Yeah, I don't think you'd get away with that these days. I don't think in P5 they actually did it. I don't remember there being like anybody who like openly kind of smoked the whole time in Persona 5. I can't really remember. I don't think so.
Why don't you? We don't mind if you're a student.
Yeah. And it's this guy. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be of no importance whatsoever. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Maybe not. Basically,
Are you okay?
the line that he gave about, oh, you'll be hanging out with your friends and doing part-time jobs, pretty much foreshadowing of what you're going to be doing for the majority of your playtime through the whole game. So yeah, he's feeling a bit dizzy. I'm just tired, Dojima. I'm fine, buddy. I will say I do like Dojima's design.
Just let me know when you're ready to go.
It's got a cool kind of scraggly older uncle. He definitely has the vibe of like a cool uncle. Anyway, so now we're introduced. This is the shopping district. So the shopping district is one of the major places that you come to in the game, and it is one of the more important places. The bookstore. This is where you'll be able to buy books, which will be able to up your stats. We've got this place, which is basically a metalwork shop, and basically you can buy weapons and armor and accessories there after you've gone into dungeons and stuff like that. This is Marikyu Tofu. It's just a tofu shop. We don't really do much in there, to be honest with you. These are students just kind of arguing. They're just here because they're here. Don't read anything more into it. Anyway. And finally we've got the item store. Basically the Shiroku store. Basically this is where you can buy recovery items. Beverage vending machine. The vending machine will give you items to restore health and also SP. SP is basically like magical points in Final Fantasy and that kind of thing. The butterfly there is basically a save point, and it is a reference to the original game where basically a sparkling butterfly was kind of the main. It was the form for a character named Philemon, I think his name was. He was kind of one of the major characters in the first two Persona games, which, yeah, they desperately need a fucking remake. Nobody cares about them anymore. They desperately need a remake, because especially the 2 duology, especially from what I've heard, is really fucking good. So, yeah.
So your mom and dad are
it'd be nice to see more of Persona. It'd be nice to see Persona 1 and 2 get the recognition that they deserve a little bit, because they are good games, but they're just very
it's just me and Nanako here, so it'll be nice having someone like you.
They're just very bad at this point. In terms of mechanically, they're just not good games anymore.
Good. Well, anyway.
So yeah, this is our home. This is where we're going to be staying with Dojima and Nanako for the for the remainder of the game.
Yeah. I see. So where is it? Uh-huh. All right, I'm on my way.
So yeah, I do actually kind of like this because you kind of see, oh, Dojima's talking on the phone.
Sorry, but I gotta go take care of some business.
He apparently likes to drink. But
I don't know how late.
yeah, so he's got work, and so he leaves. So he has to leave.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a nice setup for Nanako to then tell you, like, what line of work her father's in, basically. I think it's a nice way of getting us introduced to Dojima and what his job is and stuff like that, and his character and all that. It only does that here. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. Didn't need to add that.
Next, let's take a look at the hourly breakdown of tomorrow's weather. With
This is
storm
also
clouds
something
moving in
that
from
they
the
announce
west,
here.
expect
So
rain
the weather
throughout the day tomorrow
becomes
in most
important
areas.
in this game. So it's kind of a good introduction to kind of tell you, yeah, the weather's going to be important here. So yeah, then you can ask, what does your dad do?
Like,
Yeah, so Dojima is a detective.
my dad's a detective.
So he's a detective, and that might have something to do with the rest of the game. We'll see later, I guess. Yes, and this is more of the stuff that we saw right at the beginning of the game, where we find out that where we're told about this councilman named Naratame, who has basically been having an affair with Mayumi Yamano, who's the TV announcer that which we heard about earlier on, and basically he was engaged to an anchor singer, and now she's and yeah, so you can probably guess that something's going to happen with that fairly soon, but we'll have to find out. Oh, and the introduction of Junes. This is another place that we'll be spending a lot of time in later on, but we'll have to wait and see for now. Sure, I need my plastic sushi. But anyway, yeah, I hardly did anything this part. That's it for this part. Join me next time for the next part, when we will be investigating what's happening around what's happening with the house, and we'll also be starting our journey by going to school tomorrow. Riveting. So anyway, see you next time.